Welcome to Sisters Inc., our podcast for and about women business owners, brought to you by Black Enterprise. I'm your host, Elisa Gumbs. Black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in America. And on each episode of Sisters Inc., we'll sit down with one successful CEO and share how she slays the challenges of being a Black woman in business. Today's episode is all about catering to your customers. We're chatting with Addie Elabor, founder and CEO of Dianu, a ready-to-wear clothing line offering trendy African-inspired fashion. She started it in her studio apartment back in 2014 and has since grown it into a multi-million-dollar brand. Welcome to Sisters Inc., Addie, and thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Alyssa. It means a lot to be recognized and brought on your podcast.
Take us back to the beginning of Dianu. You have a bachelor's degree in business, a master's degree in marketing, but no background in fashion. So how and why did you come to start a clothing line?
Yeah, so my story dates back to 2013. I was working as a buyer for a lab supply company. And at the time, I really was unhappy with what I was doing. At that time, I also read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that kind of gave me like enlightenment. Like I was enlightened as to I didn't want to live a life of just a rat race, just paycheck to paycheck, or I wanted to do something that was meaningful, that would leave a legacy. So then I started thinking about like what type of business ideas could I come up with, and I was speaking to a friend of mine, and she was saying like how African print fabric was becoming more and more popular. And, I am Nigerian. My family moved here when I was 6 years old. So I grew up with the print. So it's kind of part of my culture. And I noticed that people were interested in making it into like more modern styles that is wearable for day-to-day life. So then I started thinking to myself, like, why not me? Why not create like the Zara of African inspired fashion clothing line? And I just got right to work, and I just started like researching on, are there any brands currently doing it? There really weren't any brands at the time when I was researching. And like you mentioned, I didn't have a fashion background. I had business and marketing. So I had to find like a Philly-based fashion designer to make my initial samples and my initial range of like 6 styles that I launched with. And lucky for me, there was also a Philly-based factory that made my first initial production. But Diana was really birthed out of like my desire to, create something that was celebrating my culture in a modern way. And also for me, just to do something that I was excited about, that that I knew was also needed in the market.
Usually when I speak to entrepreneurs, the story is sort of the other way around. Like they have this idea inside of them that is like this burning thing that they want to bring to the world. And with you, the passion was really about being your own boss.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. I was looking to not like have to climb the corporate ladder, but to kind of like just create my own idea of business.
So you mentioned that before you were an entrepreneur, you were working as a buyer. And I know before that you also worked in merchandising and replenishment for a pet food company. And between the two of them, you handled things like product information, pricing, sales forecast. Is that how you learned the back end of the business?
Yeah, all those experiences certainly helped me a lot more than, if I didn't have those experiences, because when business took off with Dianu, I was able to figure out like how to forecast like sales and try to replenish my inventory before we were completely sold out. And it helped me grow faster, basically, because I think if I was like a novice entrepreneur, wasn't as familiar with like merchandise and online marketing or online business, I may not have known like how important it was to not be sold out of SKUs, So it's amazing to like look back to see like how my previous like 9-to-5 jobs did in fact benefit me when I went on to do my own thing.
So how did you learn the fashion side of it?
Fashion side of things, like I've always loved fashion. I've always loved to dress uniquely growing up. And but when I went to do the business of fashion, I had to read books. I remember I had to like look up. I bought two books on like the business of fashion, and I also did a lot of research online. And those things really, really helped me because I didn't understand the different processes that it entails to like, because it wasn't like I was like making one garment, and then selling it to the customer. This was like production. So that meant like you had to understand getting samples made and then the patterns, getting them to be digitized into different sizes and then getting them plotted on like these sheets so that they can be mass cut and just understand the different layers of what it requires and then understanding like the costing of a garment and so you can set like the appropriate retail price so that you're making money and it's profitable. So all those things I actually did learn in those books and just doing my own research.
So you mentioned that your very first collection was 6 items. You started 6 years ago now, actually. And as I
It's
said in
actually
the
more than it's we launched 2014, so that's
oh,
more
seven,
like
yeah,
yeah, 7.
yeah, 7 years ago. And as I said in the intro, you started out, in your studio apartment. You
Yeah.
started with a $15,000 investment. How did you grow from there to here?
It took being I poured, all the money back into the business. So when I first launched, beginning of 2014, I was still working full time as a buyer. So when I was like making my sales, at the time I was selling like on my own website, on Etsy, eBay, and Amazon. So I was just kind of hustling, like, and then I was also doing like festivals, like in New York and Philly, and different events like that. But I realized like that was a lot of energy and time spent on doing those physical events. So I'm like, there has to be a way to like leverage online to drive, sales that way because that's where everyone is. And then by May of 2014, I actually quit my full-time job so I could focus full-time on Dianu. And this was prior to Dianu being successful and for it to like support me. And I had to like, I cashed out my 401k. I had to just like, I used that money kind of to pay like my day-to-day expense. And by October or maybe September of 2014, I took this course on Facebook ads. And it was, to me at the time, it was a large investment. It was like $400 for this course. And it kind of took me on how to use like Facebook ads, like how to properly use it, how to properly target my ideal customers. And I started like kind of doing it on my own. And within a couple of weeks, like a week or two, like I started seeing results where I was now driving a lot of traffic to my website. And by the end of that year, 2014, Deanna was actually profitable because I was able to figure out an affordable way to reach my ideal audience.
So social media marketing, it was really at the base of your growth.
Definitely, definitely, because I can't think of any other way that would have allowed me to get in front of so many people at once and just like efficiently and cost effectively as well.
So the very first of the company's core values that you have listed on your website is to be customer centered. A
Yeah,
lot of brands say that, but not all brands actually live that. So
right.
what does that in actuality look like for Dianu?
Yeah, so at the very beginning, I was like really focused on making sure we were all about our customers because we obviously are doing this for them. If they don't buy, like we don't have a business. And if they don't keep coming back, it's not a very sustainable business at that. So what we do is like we first of all, the clothing, like we want to make sure like the clothing, the quality of the fabric, the stitches, and everything is like quality work so that our customers, when they receive their items, they're happy with it. And then we always make sure that our customer service as far as like emails, just getting back to our customers is a timely manner. We also accommodate like returns, exchanges. We really want to make sure our customers feel good about doing business with us, that it's not just like we just want to sell them products and it's just a one-time transaction and that's the end of the story. We understand like how valuable it is for a customer to be retained and keep shopping with us, and also to spread the word about our brand to their friends and their family. So we think about like the fit of the clothing. We'll always think about how we can make it better for our customers. For instance, like we use this fabric that is like a stretch woven for women, and we know like the core of our customers, they're curvy. So we use this fabric that accommodates our ladies' curves when we do like fitted dresses, skirts, and pants. So those are some of the things that we do. And then we recently update like our plus size range so that it's more in line with like industry standards. And so when they're shopping with like Lane Bryant, they kind of can expect a similar fit with our plus size as well. And yeah, we're just always trying to think of how we can best serve our customers in every area of our business.
Standardized sizing, I know, is like one of the greatest frustrations that like a customer has, especially an online shopper. You're like, how can I figure out before I buy something from this company the first time if this is going to fit me, if these size charts are accurate, or I'm a size this over here, am I going to be this over here? So was the expansion of your plus sizes, or as they call it in the industry now, inclusive sizing, was that something that was in like direct response to what your customers were asking for?
It was because initially I launched for like small through XL, I believe, and then I expanded to 2X, and then beginning of this year we actually changed it to extra small to XL, and then we do plus size range, which is 1X to 3X. So we kind of separate out like the regular size from plus size, so that when we're constructing our plus size garments, they're more tailored to like, curvier women. So, and it was per, feedback from our customers who were saying, our 2X maybe didn't fit quite like a 2X as they would have expected. So we wanted to make sure that the experience they got from us was similar to what they would have gotten somewhere else. And it wasn't too much like of a confusion, shopping with us.
So speaking of customer expectations, you mentioned that when you were first selling, you were on Etsy, eBay, Amazon, your own website. You still have your own website and you do a lot of e-commerce there. E-commerce is one of those things that can be really hard for smaller brands to figure out. And particularly now that you're competing with major retailers and the 2-day shipping of Amazon, or the rock bottom prices that you can get online with fast fashion. So how have you managed those kinds of customer expectations as a small business?
We manage it quite well. I mean, because one, I think the products that we sell, they're unique enough that they wouldn't find it anywhere else. So it's like, if you really want what you see on our website, it's like, this is where it's at. You're not going to find it somewhere else. And then we do try to be as quick as possible with shipping out products. We typically ship out in 1 to 2 business days, and we offer, next day priority shipping. Depending on the customer's need, they can opt to get their items faster. And we also offer free shipping above $85. So I think we are doing our very best, as a small business. Obviously, Amazon is on their own, and there's only, but we are always trying to figure out how we can improve our service for sure.
And I noticed, some interesting things on your website. You can pay. I don't think I've ever seen so many different ways that you can pay for something. Like you can pay with PayPal or Venmo. You can pay with traditional cards, with like Diners Club card, which I didn't think anybody even took anymore. Or you can pay with Apple Pay or Google Pay. And so do you guys invest a lot of like time and strategy and money even in your e-commerce experience?
We certainly do, because that is our store, our main store, avenue to reach customers. And we are always trying to see how we can test and improve the experience, shopping experience. And as you mentioned, we do offer different payment methods, and one of them is Afterpay for people who are trying to do installment payments. Or we even offer Quad Pay, because initially we had Quad Pay, and then we later added Afterpay because more and more people were more familiar with Afterpay. And then, yeah, so fixing and making sure our website is like easy and user friendly is always priority.
One of the other recent additions to your offerings is curbside pickup because your showroom was closed because of COVID. What was the pandemic like for the company?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, 2020 was an interesting year for sure. And it really hit, I think, everyone at the same time. It was in March. So March, when, the lockdown hit, and people were just like, it was a state of panic, like what's going to happen? And our revenue dropped, like, I want to say like 40% for the month of March. And there really wasn't any, we didn't know what was going to happen next, right? But then we actually started thinking about making masks, because we'd already seen some other people like donating them. So we thought maybe we can make our own masks and put them for sale, and then we'll also donate some as well. So by the beginning of April, we started making or having masks available for pre-order, and things kind of took off there, because as you know, last year everyone's looking for a mask, and that's kind of what saved our year, to be honest. Like, the fact that we were able to sell masks, it really made up for our lost sales, and it put us in a place where 2020 was actually a great year for Diana.
Were you hearing anything from customers during that time about how their needs were changing over the course of the pandemic?
I feel like we did a survey because we were curious to see what was happening with our customer base. And it was interesting. I think it was more along the lines of like a lot of people were working from home, and we were thinking like, what can we offer them if they are they're going to be at home more often. And so we did hear from our customers in that sense. But somehow our core customers, they seem to have been okay, in the sense that they were still willing to shop with us, and engage with us. But obviously not everyone, was as fortunate, but our customers, they still continue to support us in that time period.
So I want to ask you about some of the ways that you guys have turned your customers into a community,
Yeah.
because you have a very engaged following and a lot of interaction back and forth between you. Your company has a rewards program. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we have the Honor Rewards, and basically you can get points anytime you shop with us, anytime you share or refer a friend. You get points whenever if you follow us on our social media platforms, and also when you sign up for our email list, I believe. And for every for 500 points, you can get free shipping. For 1,000 points, you get $10 off, and for 2,000 points, you get $20 off. And then the max is 3,000 points for $30 off. So the more you engage with us, basically, the more points you get, and that seems to have worked with our audience.
And you also have an ambassador program with, the really cool name, the Dianu Tribe.
Yeah. Yep. So we wanted to leverage, our customers who are very excited about the brand, and the brand ambassador program is actually still a work in progress, where we're looking to improve it even further. But right now, if they sign up, they can get different types of rewards. They can either get gift cards for certain actions they take. They can get commission for for someone using like their promo code their promo code. They can get up to 10% commission. So it is a pretty cool program. If people are engaged, they really want to like earn some points and then even make some money, so they can join our brand ambassador program.
And it's almost like being part of the family.
Yes, part of the Dianu tribe to be exact, right?
Yes. You also donate a lot of money as a company. Tell me
Yeah.
about some of the ways that you give back to the community.
Yeah, giving back is one of our core values as well. And since the second year of business, I made a point to give a percentage to organizations that resonated with me. So we started giving back to like water.org, Charity Water, because a lot of like third world countries and in even West Africa where they don't have access to clean water. So some of these organizations, they make sure like they have wells and access to just water that is clean enough to drink. And then we've given to like the Boys and Girls Club in Philadelphia. We understand like the kids, the youth, they're the future, and just being able to be a part of that and making sure they're well positioned to do better in the future is really important to us. And we've given to even like the National Black Society of Engineers. Last year, like for Juneteenth, we gave 19% to two organizations that were really doing some great work in the communities. So giving is definitely a core value for Dianu.
And you also get customer feedback on where they would like you to donate money, right?
Yeah, so last year we asked our customers, and they were actually the ones who suggested some of those organizations like Boys and Girls Club, National Black Society of Engineers, and there was also a women's shelter in St. Louis that we donated to as well, because one of our customers, she is the director of that program. So we always love to hear like what is impacting our customers and what's important to them, because what's important to them in essence is important to us as well.
So what is next for the brand? What big plans do you have? And what are your customers asking for? What are they dying to get next from you?
That's a good question. We would like to know too. No, but we always are working on a new thing, but our fall collection is coming out in September. We're really excited about that because it's our first collection that is all the prints is designed by our team. So it's a really beautiful collection, and all the prints is like Dianu exclusive. So we better not see it anywhere else. And then the other project we're working on is we're working to partner with a fabric factory in Africa, Ghana or Nigeria, to manufacture our fabric directly, and then produce more stuff in Africa as well in the next like 1 year.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Addie, for sharing your small business success story with us. Everyone out there, please take a look at the company website, dianu.com. That's DIYANU. You can also follow them on Instagram at Dianu or on Facebook at Dianu Fashions. Right, check out the podcast channel on blackenterprise.com to find Sisters Inc. and more podcasts from Black Enterprise editors, writers, and experts. Subscribe to Sisters Inc. on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And if you like what you hear, please show your love by leaving a 5-star review or spread the word by putting a sister on. This is Elisa Gums with Sisters Inc. for Black Enterprise. Thank you for listening.